सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम यश्छन्दसा वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया आस्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया विहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। We discussed the meaning of this Purnamada mantra and completed yesterday. And today we will enter into this Upanishad, Shastra Pravesha. And as I had mentioned in my first lecture, Upanishad means a vidya. Upanishad means a knowledge that releases you. First of all, that loosens the bondage of samsara. It destroys the cause of samsara, namely ignorance, and takes you to Brahman, makes you to own up, helps you to own up fullness that is you. And we will see the first mantra of this book. And the book in a secondary sense is called Upanishad. The body of the words which reveal this Vidya is also called Upanishad in a secondary sense, not primarily. Primarily, it means, Upanishad means Brahma Vidya, Atma Gnanam. In the name Ishavasya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, ityadi, most of the names are given because the very first word is Kena. Here first word is Ishavasya. So it is called Ishavasya Upanishad. Now see the first mantra and the first word. Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Yatkinchit jagatyam jagat. Yatkinchit jagatyam jagat. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Magrudah kasya sviddhanam. Magrudah kasya siddhanam. Ishavasya sarvam. Ishavasya sarvam. Tena yatkinchit jagatyam jagat. Yatkinchit jagatyam jagat. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Magrudah kasya sviddhanam. Magrudah kasya sviddhanam. The translation is Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Idam sarvam. All these should be Ishavasyam. All these Vasyam Achadaniyam, to be covered. Whatever, all, in one word, if I say all these should be covered by Isha, by Lord. Then second line is Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Bhunjithaha, may you protect or protect yourself. How? Tyaktena bhunjithaha. May you protect yourself through detachment, through renunciation. Manish ne yaad pavar. Hari. And Magrudaha kasya sviddhanam. Do not covet anybody's wealth. So there are three sentences. Isha vasyam idam sarvam. All these should be covered by Isha. I'll keep the word Isha as Isha. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha. Yat kinchit jagatyam sarv jagat. Whatever this is in this world should be covered by Isha. And tena tyaktena bhunjitha. May you protect yourself by tyaga, renunciation or detachment. And it says, Magrudaha kasya sviddhanam. May you not covet for anyone's wealth. The very first sentence or the first half of the first line of the first mantra itself is Mahavakya. That Mahavakya we have seen. Mahavakya means that reveals Purna Artha Bodhaka, Akhandartha Bodhaka. It reveals the complete meaning, Purna meaning. And what should be covered? Idam Sarvam. Let us go start with Idam Sarvam. Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam. That itself is Mahavakya. How? We will see this. Idam means what? Anything that you objectify. Idam means that which is in front of you. It's near to you, near to the perceiver. And that near is a relative word, nearer compared to something else. As in English, we can say this. Whatever is this should be covered by Isha. I will explain the word Isha also. I will explain the word should be covered. And all this idam sarvam. And then he says, Jagatyam Jagat. In this world, Jagat means all sentient, insentient, stationary, moving, everything. Now, what is this? That which is available for objectification is called this. Okay? What we call as this is always something available to be objectified. Not necessarily near. Near is also relative. I can say this road right in front of my ashram or in front of my home. And when I am talking of a road near the airport, I can say this road here in Chicago, not in America, in Washington, something like that. You see, the beauty of the US is most of the names of the streets are same in all the towns, you know. All the avenues and everything is same. You know the same words. But then you may find the same thing in Chicago, same thing in Atlanta, same thing in New York, same thing in New Jersey. Then fellow may know both the places. He may have relative at that and here. Then he may say, no, this road. Or in Gujarati, there are so many Patels, you know, Patels and Shahs in US. H.J. Patel or H.J. Shah, something. Then this fellow is referring to this H.J. who is here in New Jersey. And he is there in New York and talking about him. When that other guy remembers the H.J. Patel who is in California. And in the conversation, he says, he is a Duke bungalow. No, not that. I'm talking of this. This is New York and New Jersey. Quite far. And there may be some H.J. in India also. With reference to Indian H.J. Patel, the California Patel become this. So near is a way relative. Idam, right meaning is that which is available for objectification. Generally speaking, what we consider something as objectifiable is that which is beyond body. The boundary line of division between subject and object is often drawn by the skin. As long as my skin pervades to that point, everything is I. And anything beyond skin becomes this. You know, outside skin is this. That we know. But we have to analyze further. What is beyond skin alone is not this. The skin and under the skin also is this. Though we happen to refer our body, skin and under the skin, as I. You know, when they say, this is my birthday, I am tall, I am short, I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am angry, I am frustrated, etc. I am an engineer, I am a doctor, I am a chartered accountant, whatever you say. Though it is referred as I often, and that's how people know me in the world, and that's how I introduce to others myself in the world. I introduce myself as a man or a woman or a citizen of this country, of this caste, this age, etc., etc. That's how the Vyavahara takes place. That's your personality, as we call it. Can be called as personality. But who is the person? It is one personality deals with another personality. That's fine. That is how Vyavahara works. But who is this I? When you look at that, whatever is referred as these, or I mean, is I as a subject, is also referred as an object. You know, what this body is said to be I. They say, looking at a mirror, I look beautiful, I look handsome, you know, my say. But then each limb, when it is mentioned, they are mentioned as mine, not I. Put together, we call it I. But when you go to doctor, you don't say I has a ache. You don't say I aching, I am aching. You say head, my head is aching or my back is aching. You don't say I am aching. I pain. You don't say my stomach has a pain. You know. You don't say I am cold. That better be careful if you become cold. And nowadays with corona, you be careful if you have cold. You know, I have some cold. I have. Where is the cold? When you express it, I have some cold. Then you take a nose. Doctor, I have some cold. The nose is blocked. Doctor would say, oh. Then this fellow says, I don't have a, it's so blocked that I don't have a sense of smell. Huh? Doctor will consider you as asprussia from that very moment. That is one of the symptoms of corona, you know. In India, we had a program called Eradication of Untouchability. And all these groups, so-called forward and democratic and other religions, blame, denigrating Hindu dharma and Hindu society. You believe in untouchability. Now they officially advocate untouchability. And it has been given a good name. Social distancing. That is untouchability. Our good old thing, you know, corona. So they are very good in giving the names, you know. Merger took place. What is merger? Nothing. Big fish ate away the small fish. That's all is called merger. You know, there is no merger. Willing merger. Hardly it is there. Anyway, coming back to that, when you say I don't have a sense of smell, my nose can't smell, my nose. And I often have talked this and had mentioned this while teaching Tattva Bodha. Look at this Maya, you know, that is Avarana Shakti. We say Sahaja Vagnana from birth. This 2-3 year old baby, child, then the mother, before it goes to school or playhouse, home coaching and some learning takes place. Then they ask this, what is this? Baby says, this is my nose. What is this? Baby says, these are my cheeks. What is this? This is my eye. Baby will make a mistake. Okay, I'm deliberately making a mistake. The baby will say, eyes? Baby is confused. Then mother says, ears, this is my ear. Then what is this? These are my hands. And then we'll put a finger on the tummy. What is this? This is my tummy. And then further baby asked, where is Chintu? This is Chintu. All that was mentioned as mine, how it can become I? How can I say, this is my car? Yeah, and this is my exercise cycle, and this is my treadmill. And you say, I am treadmill cycle car. How can you say that? If it is mine, it cannot be I. There is a confusion. That is all Maya is. So the body is also idam. Not only body is idam, prana is also idam. You know the state of pranas. Not only prana, your mind is idam, manas. Why? Because you know all your emotions. I can see that I am getting angry. They say, Swamiji, I am getting negative thoughts nowadays. Swamiji, I have a fear of corona. I was very fearless, but nowadays I have a fear of corona. Blah, blah, blah. How do you know? I see my emotions. I see my anger rising. I see my knowledge. And I see my ignorance also. I know what I know, and I know what I do not know. Both is known to me. So all this is idam. Idam means beginning from my knowledge, my ignorance, my emotions, my hunger, thirst, etc. My senses of perception, senses of action, and the entire body and beyond the body, beginning from the house in which I live, and the car, and the town, and the state, and the country, and the continent, and the earth, and the sun, and the solar system, and the galaxies, and Milky Way, and everything is this. Please understand what it means by this. Who is this I? I am awareful, conscious being. That is I. I am conscious of all these things. And I am aware of everything around me and about myself, self-revealing. Because of whom? That because of I, being self-aware, self-conscious thing, person or vastu, I know everything. Jagatyam jagat. Don't translate it as all that is in the world. That's not translation. In the world. In the world, you have to specify this is part of the world. Body-mind complex. Beginning from my knowledge and ignorance onwards to all the galaxies and stars, everything. Because all is idam. To say this as idam, there has to be aham. Who is this aham? This is I, aware, full, conscious being, who, because of whom, because of that consciousness, I am aware of everything. I am conscious of everything. I am objectifying all these things. That subject. As of now, we will say aware, full, conscious being. As of now. Actually, it is consciousness. It is awareness. I'll have to come to that conclusion. But as of now, aware, full, conscious being is a subject. Anything other than that is idam. Known, unknown, knowable and unknowable, or knowable now or hereafter, heaven and all those lokas. Known today or tomorrow by somebody, all that is idam. Now, look at this Mahavakya. What does Upanishad says? Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Vasyam achadaniyam. Should be covered everything. Sarvam, idam sarvam. All that is these should be covered by Isha. Okay. Now, Vasyam means achadaniyam. Now let us understand the word Isha. Isha or Ishvaraha. Ishte, that's a verb from which this grammatically, etymologically, the word Isha or Ishvara is derived. What does Ishvara mean? Ishvara generally means a Lord. That is the problem of English. Oh Lord, save me. You know, and before he saves, or before you seek the saving, you die, then you are in limbo. And this limbo word is especially used for these non-proselytized fellows, those who don't have come to the God and don't have taken refuge in the Son of the God, in between fellows. Of course, there is another meaning of uncertainty and all that, but limbo. So the one who keeps you in limbo, unless you surrender or accept him as the only God, that is Lord, overlord. No, that's a problem of English. Isha has the verb grammar has two meanings. Palayita shashakascha. One who nourishes, one who sustains, that is Isha. And one who is overlord, the ruler, the master. That is one meaning. What kind of master? See, who is Bhagavan? See, it is one thing to say. You see, the Bhagavan is most misunderstood word. Like even when I say, what is this? All of you would say this is iPhone, mobile phone. If you happen to know the brand, you may say it looks like an iPhone. That's fine. Maybe wrong, maybe right. I say, what is this? This is mouse. So when I say cell phone or mobile phone, all of us understand something common. That will store data, will have modern extra value added features, it will have context, and wireless means to connect and listen and talk to someone else. That much commonly we understand. Ishvara is the most abused word. Each one of us has a different concept of Ishvara. And more often than not, in our vernacular languages, we call it Bhagavan. That Bhagavan is also subjective, religion-wise. God, in English we call it. A Christian will understand differently, Muslim will understand differently, and Jewish will understand differently, Buddhist will understand differently, and Hindu will certainly understand differently. Why is it differently? Because it depends on the sampradaya that he or she belongs to. He may all have different Bhagavan and all have their own idea about Bhagavan. And then say Bhagavan hai sabka shas, at least there is a ruler. Please understand what Vedas have to say. What kind of ruler? There is a mantra into Upanishads, including in Katha, said by Yamaraja himself. Bhishasmad Vatav Pavate, Taitri also comes. Bhishasmad Vatav Pavate, Bhishodeti Suryaha, Bhishasmad Agnischendrascha, Mrutyurdhavati Panchama iti. Bhisha, out of fear of that Bhagavan, Vatav Pavate, wind moves, blows. Our Gujarati word is better, wind. Vayu dhoida dhoid kare. You know this word Dhoida, Dhoid, typical Kathiawadi word, Saurashtra word. Vayu Dhoida, Dhoid. Jana Bhaiti. Because of whose fear, the wind runs hither and thither constant. Because of whose fear, there is a sunrise. Visho Deti Suryasya. Vishasmadvatah pravate pavate. Visho Deti Suryaha. Vishasmadagnischendrasya. Indra, the king of the heaven, the lord of the heaven, does all his work because of the fear of that Ishvara. The Agni Devata who keeps the forms, burns, he does the work because of his fear. And Yamaraja himself says, only because of his fear I run around to kill people. Yama is a most busy person, like McDonald delivery boy. from one address to another address. He may be in America and now he has to rush to Brazil, and by the time he finishes in Brazil, there is a call from the Spain, and from Spain there is a call from Rajkot or Ahmedabad or some Ahmedabad, and while he is attending Ahmedabad, there is urgent call from Delhi. You know, he has to run there, and Bihar, and then all around. He says, I run. That Yama, because of whom everybody is frightened. There is a fear of death. And what kind of fear? There is a Bhashya, it is written, Veda Bhashya. Vajramudyantam swaminam drashtva yatha bhrutyaha swakaryeshu apramattassan pravartante tadvat. Like we have seen those pictures. The slaves rowing the boat. When they row the boat, there is one supervisor standing with a hunter. If any one of them becomes lax or lazy or tired, he will give one. There is always a fear. If I slow down, I'll get one. That kind of fear these devatas have. They are samartha, they are powerful. That is called overlordship. Rulership. That is one. That is Bhagavan. Ishavasya sarvam. Everything should be covered or seen as Ishvara. Is another thing. Especially in India, Kathakars and Mahatmas just say this. Yes, ab Bhagavan hai, everything is God. See this Bhagavan, nothing is away from the God, blah, blah, blah. Understand. This also needs to be understood properly. When you say everything is God, that means which God? As a Niyanta. The order is Ishvara. All these natural forces that sustain the creation is Ishvara. So the law of karma phala is also Ishvara. Law of gravitational is also Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. Karma phala data is Ishvara. Karma dhaksha is Ishvara. When I receive any karma phala, whether pleasant or unpleasant, it is nothing but manifestation of Ishvara. Therefore, when somebody dies, they do namaskara in India. Suppose dead body is being taken, they do namaskara. Any celebrity or some good person, social worker has died, and Prime Minister goes to pay his last respects, then he will do namaskara to the dead body. Ishvara in the form of Yama, it's a karma phala. Therefore, Yamaraja is called Dharmaraja. Niyanta is Ishvara. The laws, the order, biological order, physiological order, psychological order, any order that is there is Ishvara, non-separate. Ishavasyam. They say this, Bhagavan Sarvagna hai, Bhagavan Sarvavyapi, Bhagavan is Sarvagna, Bhagavan is Sarvavyapi. All pervasive is this. As an order, he is there everywhere. As a sun, he is there. As the earth is there, order of rotation of the earth is Ishvara. The gravitation of the earth is Ishvara. Moon is Ishvara. Gama Vishchacha Bhutani. Dharayamya Mojasa Pushnami Chaushadis Sarva. Somo Bhutva Rasatmaka. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. The Jatragni, the fire in the belly is Ishvara. Not only outside fire. Everything is Ishvara. That has to be seen. Therefore we say Sarvagna, Sarvashaktiman, Ishvara, Sarvasya Palaka. The one who is limitless in terms of Desha, Kala and Vastu. Purna is Ishvara. Order is Ishvara. The ruler of everything is Ishvara. That is one. This Ishvara is Namarupa Ishvara. We are talking of Ishvara, that is Aupadikam. We are talking of a ruler. Moment you say he is a ruler, then there is something to be ruled. Otherwise, there cannot be ruler without something to be ruled. You cannot have a president of a country. Which country? There is no country, but I am president. Do you own a house? They can, no, I don't own a house. Nothing. So accepting the Bheda, accepting the duality of creation and the creator, that is Isha first. When you accept then he becomes ruler. He, she, it is all the three. And we all become ruled. Shashakaha, that is a Shashakaha, and we are ruled. Shashyahavan, those who are ruled. And that is why he is Karmafal Data, Karma Dhakshaha, Jagadadharaha, all that you can say. That is one. But now, there is another kind of ruling. There is another type of creation, the status of being creator. There is second type. There is second type of ruling. What? You may say the potter is the creator of the pot. Potter sustains the pots in his pottery and breaks and sometimes makes new. Creator, sustainer, dissolver. But then he is a sustainer, niyanta, palayati, shashakaha. But then vastu can be palan karta, sustainer, when it is the material cause. It is the very self of it. Clay is a palak. Clay sustains the pot. Pot is created out of clay. Pot is sustained by the clay. And pot is dissolved by the clay. Understand? That is Sashaka. Another type of rulership is there. When I stand in front of a mirror, I, the one who is the bimba, the subject, is a ruler of the reflection. I raise my hand, the reflection has to raise the hand. Reflection has no choice but not to raise the hand. I bend down, the reflection has to bend down. As long as I am there in front of the mirror, so long only the reflection will be there. The vastu, the substratum, the adhara is also ruler of something which is reflection or superimposed. Both. The example, this is called pratibimba. Pratibimba is there, or you can say dream. I create the dream, I sustain the dream, and whole dream dissolves into me, I as a conscious being. Though it is a projection of the mind, you can say, it's one kind of thought projection. But the thought projection is possible only when I am there, the conscious being is there. I, as a sustainer, as a substratum of the whole dream, I am the Shashaka, the ruler. And that which is the self of the Vastu, that means that which is superimposed, that which is apparent, and that the apparent is, the isness of the apparent Vastu becomes the ruler of the apparent Vastu. The dream world is apparent. The dream is because I is. So I am the Shashaka of the dream world. Because I am the substratum of the dream. The dream is sustained by me, the subject, and dream is going to dissolve into me, the subject. I am the Shashaka. Understand? Therefore, Shankaracharya uses beautifully. Look at these words. I would connect that, but let's see the Bhashya, beauty of the Bhashya. Then I will explain it. Ishavasya sarvam. He says Ishita. He explains the word Isha. Ishita means the ruler. Parameshwara. Paramascha asau Ishvara. Ultimate ruler. There is nothing beyond him. And then he says, Saeva pratyagatma sarvasya. That Ishvara is the very self of everything. Sahi sarvam ishte sarva jantunam atma san. Atma san being the self. Sarvam ishte, he rules everything. How? Pratyagatmataya. He is the innermost self of each and every sentient and insentient being. Tena svena rupena atmana ishavasyam achadaniyam. Look at this. He is the self of everything. Substratum. I told you in the beginning, what is idam? Beginning from my ignorance and knowledge onwards, the whole world is idam. Whole universe is idam. Then I said that idam is there because it is objectifiable, but there has to be subject to objectify. Who is the subject? I say, I am the subject. I am the subject and I am awareful, conscious being. I told you as of now, let us use this word. The personality, the person is I, conscious being. And here now he said that I, the conscious being, is the substratum of the entire idam. The idam is non-separate from aham. And in spite of them, if I see the difference, subject-object division, that means that division has to be apparent. Exactly like in my dream, what all I see is never away from me. It is I only. The dream road, and a dream car, and a dream family, and a dream I also is I. Dream sun, dream moon, dream gas that I fill up in the car, the road that are there, and dream rain, and a dream accident, and dream doctor, everything is I. But while seeing the dream, there is a subject-object division. That division has to be apparent. And the one who creates this apparent division is Maya. Not there, but still makes it appear. Ishavasyam idam sat. That Ishvara, this is the catch here. People think that Ishvara, one who rules the whole world, who controls everything. And again, nowadays they all have, social media has brought out all creativities. Who is God? Generator and operator and destroyer. Generator, operator, destroyer is G-O-D, God. And you conveniently put him somewhere. Across Himalayas, as Swamiji would say, God in heaven, Allah in Jannah. Our Shastra says he is Pratyagatma, the very self of everything, and everything includes you also. That means he is the subject. Kshetragnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetresu bharata. The knower is me, Lord Krishna says. In every knower, in every body, there is a subject, and that subject is me. And when you know this, then the knowledge is complete. Understand? What is Purna Jnanam? Is all Vipassana telling you are Sakshi. This is not complete knowledge. The Sakshya, that what you witness is non-separate from the witness. The subject-object division is apparent. That is Akhandartha. That is whole. The very self of the subject is Ishavasyam. Achadaniyam. Should be covered by, should be seen as that. Please understand. Here one thing also we should know. First of all, the Shruti says, Ishavasyam achadaniyam. Achadaniyam means should be covered. Covered means what? You have to put in effort to see this truth. This is a fact which is totally contrary to my knowledge, which is a notion in fact. And not my knowledge, knowledge of everyone else other than me. All other guys also say this world is separate from you. No, it is separate. But from one standpoint of view, it is non-separate. The very subject is object, means the self. We don't stop at this Atma is Satchidananda and Atma is Sakshi. No, that Satchidananda, that whom we call Sakshi, is Jagat Karanam Brahma. Therefore, there is a Vakya in Upanishad, Ham Manurabhavam. I was Manu, I was Vasishta, I was Narada, and I am what all it is. Sun and the moon and the earth and everything is me. Though in spite of they being separate, I can say it is me. There's a which standpoint of view as a self, and that so-called separation is nothing but superimposition. And beautifully told in Gujarati by our good old Narsimha Mehta, Brahma lataka kare Brahma sa. Akhila Brahmandama ekatu Shri Hari Jujave Rupe Ananta Bhase. It has not become many. It appears to be many. And therefore we don't say God has created this creation. We say God manifests as the creation. The creation is non-separate from the God. I have to use the word God because for English doesn't have any other word. It is non-separate from Ishvara. But then Ishvara is separate from it. Like our Swami's statement, this is Rishi's arithmetic. B is A, but A is not B. Because what is separate is superimposed, is a play of Maya, that achintya Shakti of Ishvara, and therefore it is apparent. Being an apparent, it cannot exist. The isness of an apparent thing is always borrowed isness, and that is borrowed from the vastu, the substratum, which is real. And that which is apparent cannot be separate from real, but real can be separate from apparent. Separate in means real cannot be touched or affected by apparent. The snake is apparent, rope is real. Snake can never be separate from the rope unless it's a real snake. Unless it's Bhagavan snake. I'm talking of our creation snake. And don't pick up a snake and say, I thought Swamiji was telling a snake cannot be separate from rope. So thinking it to be rope, I picked up because it's monsoon. In India, you get snake in ashram. Of course, very rarely now. But when I built this, every day I have seen snake. And right behind my kutia, there was a cobra who lived 3 years here with me, right behind. A huge one with this fang and color. And then when I made extension, he disappeared somewhere. But he was living here. Not behind, right this wall, next room wall, down ground floor. Anyway, so it is achhadaniyam. You have to exert to see the fact. And to see the fact, you need not destroy the creation. That also you should know. You need not squeeze the wave to see the water. You can say all the waves should be covered by water. And it is a should be covered means in your perception. It is already covered. It is not that you have to literally cover it, but it is this substratum, and you have to make prayatnaha kartavyaha. You have to do what it takes to know this fact. You have to be a mumukshu, a jignasu, and then approach a teacher and do Sravana Manana Nidhyasana. And that's again a grace that you get a teacher and make sure that I attend all classes. I give priority to classes. And it is not that today I put back the note and only on next Saturday I search for the note to start with it, because Swamiji asked us to keep the note. No, that mananam and nididhyasanam to be done. Kartavyaha means you have to prioritize. You have to have an appointment with yourself. Please understand. Studying Vedanta is having an appointment with myself and giving a quality time in my appointment. I have seen this. I must say this to you. I have met about 4 or 5 heads of the states in the residence, and our Prime Minister and Home Minister and our Abdul Kalam, 3-4 times I have met them. I have sat with them almost hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, but Modi never ever takes a single phone. When he has given a time, he will just sit with you. Listen, discuss, nothing. That's called quality time. When we are doing the class, in between we get up and do something and come back. Sometimes some people do messaging. That's not a quality. That's Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. That's yatnah kartavya. Iti kartavyata. This is to be done, to create. Iti kartavyata utpadanarthaya. To create that sense of duty, sense of commitment. It says, should be covered. Should be covered means you must gain the knowledge. Human body is the greatest gift, and it is designed only for knowledge. And you cannot use it for something else. Though it has a potential to be used for dharma, artha, kama, it is certainly not for artha, kama. Because any other birth, any other body is good enough for artha, kama. And the Vishaya Sukham, maybe animals may not have those Vishayas that you and I have. But the Sukham is the same. The Sukham that you and I get by eating pizzas and panipuris and kachodis and whatever items you eat, the same Sukham mosquito gets by sucking your blood. Okay? And it may be Indian blood or Maharashtrian or Gujarati, that same Sukham. Vishaya may differ, but the Sukha Vritti is same. Artha Kama is not the purpose. Body is for dharma, and dharma itself is not an end, though dharma in our tradition itself is a purushartha. Dharma is not subservient to artha kama. We don't do dharma to gain more artha kama. Dharma itself is purushartha. In fact, artha kama is subservient to dharma. I spend my money for dharma. I give up my pleasures for dharma. But then dharma itself is not end. The moksha is an end. So sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam, but then dharma is moksha. Ishavasya idam sarvam means this birth should be utilized. May you utilize, may you use this extra strength of the capacity of buddhi that you have, because of which the viveka is possible. Discrimination between Atma and Anatma is possible, between Satya and Mithya is possible, Vishnu Drashta, Drashta possible, that knowledge is possible. Use this for knowledge and ultimately gain these. Therefore, he says, Ishavasyam idam sar. Okay. Now, there is some further discussion in this mantra. I mean, this particular part, and then second half of this, Tena Taktena Bunji Dhaha and Magrada Kasya Svidhanam. I'll discuss that on next week. Next Saturday, I think it would be 1st of August, 1st and 2nd August. Let's see. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. See you